as cheerleading and popularity and geographic locations and things like that, I would say it's most prevalent in the South and the Midwest, where football is big. Cheerleading was actually originally created for football. It was started by a few guys at the University of Minnesota. Princeton took it on too, and the guys would jump out in front and lead the crowd in yells to try to unify everybody in that goal, that noise to make a difference at the game. Now, I would say the East Coast and Southern California cheerleading is pretty big. And those two places, it got big because of the show business part of cheerleading, how it can be more entertainment instead of making a difference at the game. So when the entertainment value got big, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders got big and all those different things, that's when those two regions really started picking it up. And then here in Northern California, it's slowly starting to catch up as far as that goes. But then now cheerleading has become this little hybrid between making a difference, ambassadorship, and entertainment. And then now we throw in this competition piece of it into the mix, and then now you have this whole brand new animal, right?
Can you explain a typical practice day?
So a typical practice day is like Monday, Wednesday we have weight training, so we're on South Campus and we only train for an hour, whereas Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays we do actual 3-hour practices where we practice our stunts, tumbling, baskets, skills, all of those things for game days.
How did you balance being a cheerleader and a full-time student?
I would have a Google Calendar set up in my planner, and I'd write 7 a.m. to 7:10, wake up, brush your teeth, 7:20, eat breakfast, 7:25, get dressed, leave for practice at this time, eat this, bring this, do this certain homework. I would have everything planned to a T. And because I was able to learn that through being a cheerleader here, I was able to be part of other organizations on campus on top of that.
What are some elements of cheerleading?
For college, we have 2.5 high pyramids. So that's one person standing here, another person standing on top of her, and then we toss another person up, and then she's here. So it's 3 people stacked up.
Wow.
And our routine is a compilation of all of those things with a dance. And there's the basket, so it's the releasing part. So I'll show you, this is a grip, so just grab your wrist in mine. So it's called a basket because it kind of looks like a basket weave. So you pretty much sit down here, then the top jumps in to our hands, we dip and we toss, and then she will either flip, spin, do a body position, and then we catch her.
And there's tumbling. I don't really know how to explain it, I can just kind of show you.
Have you faced any obstacles?
Yeah, so my senior year of high school, I actually was trying to get my tumbling up so that I could be able to be on a college cheerleading level team, and I was doing a round off back handspring tuck, and I actually ended up breaking my arm in half. And now I currently have 6 screws inside my bone and a metal plate. And that's been kind of hard. I think tumbling after that was really crazy. And it was a really big mental hurdle that I kind of had to overcome. But in the end I did, and being on this team has definitely really helped me become mentally stronger, and this whole experience did too.
A lot of it you would think would be physical, but most of it is mental, thinking that I can't handle all the things I put on my plate. But the way I deal with it is taking it 1 minute at a time, not even just 1 practice at a time, because you have to stay in the minute to be good at that minute.
Why do you think cheerleading isn't as respected as a sport?
I think because there's a lot of portrayal in the media that we just run around in skirts, and a lot has to do with entertainment. So in movies, a lot of the cheerleaders are just, they have bad vibes in that school atmosphere, and people think cheerleading is, just in school, when there is all-star cheerleading, which is competitive, and that's a lot of rigor, and there's college cheer too. So I think that's why. It's just because there's always been this stigma.
So would you consider cheerleading a sport?
Competitive cheerleading, yes. We have to be punctual, we have to be committed, we have set practices, and we compete in an actual, for a championship. So competitive cheerleading, yes. Scholastic cheerleading, I guess in the technical definition of a sport, maybe not, just because the focus is a bit different. you're not focusing on winning that trophy. You're focused on supporting your school.
Well, I think that a lot of people just see what we do on the sideline, and so they consider, oh, they're cheering for another team, so they're not considered a sport. But if they knew all the things that we did behind the scenes, I think that the disrespect could also come from the media and a lot of movies and things that we see on television and how cheerleaders are portrayed. A lot of people get cheerleading from those types of things.
Why do you think there's a lack of respect for female athletes?
Females aren't as respected as male athletes because we're not as big as them. Like, some of us are not as tall. We're not as fast. We don't look as strong. And I think just like those biological factors give us a disadvantage. But we're probably working just as hard as male athletes, if not harder.
But I think men overall are seen as these like stronger and like bigger, better, faster people, when in all reality girls are usually tinier and quicker on their feet and more witty.
Basically, genetically, males are physically capable of more, but I think female athletes still like push themselves every day to be better than them or be at the same level.
I feel like there's a lack of respect because, I didn't fully understand my purpose as a cheerleader until I started collegiate cheerleading. And maybe feeling like they don't understand why cheerleaders are there might have a reason to do with the lack of respect for them. Another thing is I feel like media has a lot to do with it, because in movies they're always like ditzy or promiscuous and stuff like that. And they always like emphasize that, I feel like, in a lot of movies.
I believe that has a lot to do with our society. Even from the moment like parents bring home a newborn baby, the chances of the boys' room having baseball bats like printed on the walls or like any type of sports stuff, that's really likely for a boy's room. But for the girl, like the parents are most likely going to do some type of princess, some type of theme like that. So already from a young age, society's showing boys and girls that boys should be doing sports, they should be athletic, and we're not necessarily doing that for the girls as well. And then as more of a financial reason for college or even professional level, realistically not that many people are watching girls do their sports. So being realistic, why is a school or a company gonna invest in money for a female sports team when they can make way more money investing in a male sport?
So why do you think male athletes are respected more than women athletes?
It has a huge part to do with just how our culture is set up. I believe people like to objectify women. The fact that we wear skirts doesn't really help us. I mean, if you look at the NFL cheerleaders, they are completely sexualized. They don't do the same skills that we do. However, I'm constantly asked, do you want to be a professional cheerleader? Do you want to be a professional cheerleader? And I'm like, why? So I can wear a sports bra and shake pom-poms. Like, it's honestly nothing at all like what we do in college cheerleading or even what all-star cheerleaders do. So, I mean, yeah, the outfits are cute and everything. I'm not saying I don't like it, but it doesn't help with the fact that when people look at NFL cheerleaders, they're hugely sexualized, and it transfers onto us as well, even though we really try our best to fight that image and show people that we're professionals, we're responsible, we're dedicated, and we're disciplined just like any other sport. When it comes to why female athletes are less respected in general over male athletes, again, it's just our culture. You know, I mean, naturally men have more testosterone, they have more muscle mass on their body, so they're able to do a little bit more, but there's also things that females are able to do as well when it comes to maybe balance, coordination, just overall aesthetics. So I don't think that strength overall should just be always put on top, and I think that that's kind of what it comes down to when people are comparing, for example, male and female basketball players. Maybe there's not as many female basketball players that can dunk, but you know, they can still put on a great game.
So why do you think there's such a lack of respect for female athletes?
Historically, women are seen as the caregiver, the home
taker, you know, just taking care of things at home and that part, not necessarily being that leadership role in the house. And so that dynamic has also carried into sports, whereas this image of a woman being strong, athletic, powerful, and dynamic kind of offsets that old school way of thought.
So how has cheerleading impacted your life today?
Cheerleading has had a deep impact in my life. It really has made me become the person that I am. It really challenges you every day as a person to accomplish a new goal, and as well as help others accomplish their goals too. And so currently I'm a high school teacher as well as a high school cheerleading coach. So my experiences through cheerleading not only have impacted my life, but now they're impacting the lives of my students and my own cheerleading team. And just seeing how it trickles down is so gratifying and amazing.
So how has cheerleading impacted your life today?
It has made me a person that is able to do things on my own, but realizing when is the right time to ask for help, because you don't want to always be the one asking people to do you stuff like favors on the team. You don't want to constantly be having people trying to help you when they need to work on stuff that they need to get better at too. But you do need to know, I need help right now, I need my team support. So you have to, it's taught me to realize when I need help, when I can do things on my own.